Narayana Hari, Narayana Hari, Narayana, Narayana Hari, Narayana, Narayana Hari, Narayana. So the thought we were discussing was from the Vyavahara Drushti, from the Vasana Drushti, from the Upayoga Drushti. If you see, pot is real. There is no mud at all. But if you take the buddhi and use it through the karya karana mimamsa, the karana of the pot is the mud, and in the mud there is no pot. In the pot also, whatever you see, wherever you see is mud alone. Where is the pot if you ask it? Nowhere it is there. But still, because of the vyavaharika, upayogata, because of our own, that type of living for lives together, we see the mud as pot in such a manner that pot alone is real. There is nothing mud. See that? That is why what the Shastra say, Shrutya Yuktya Swanubhutya Jnatva Svatmanam Atmani. You have to listen to a Shruti Mata, which only purpose is to tell us that what you see, the Ishvara Jiva Jagat and everything is having its substratum, something beyond, it is reality. This is called Shruti. Now the Shruti Mata said Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Now Yukti Bhagavan Adi Shankara is helping us in. Use all your power of logic to understand what Shruti Mata says is correct. It is correct. Shruti doesn't speak lies. Third one is what? This yukti ke dwara convinced thing, through sadhana, we have to make a anubhuti. Only when the anubhuti comes, then the knowledge is completed and every doubt questions go away. That is why chidyante sarva samshayaha. Only in the anubhuti, all the samshayas go away. Only in the anubhuti, the granthi bhedanam of avidya, kama karma goes away. Only in the anubhuti, then the individuality is gone. Therefore, all the samskaras or the karmas go away. That is why vidyate hrudaya grantihi chidyante sarva samshayaha kshiyante chasya karmani kab tasmin drushte paravare. Only when we see the transcendental Brahman beyond Rupanama and in and through Rupanama is he alone. That's called avara drushti. You see the gold pure. Same gold is seen through ornaments. Gold is never missed. It only under some reasons, for some reason, purpose, appearing as gold ornament without changing itself. In the same way, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman alone is real. We have to experience it. Before that, the logically we have to come to the understanding. Before that, the Shruti Vakya we have to listen. So we are now at the level of Shruti Vakya. Then Yuktis we are trying our best to come to conviction what Shruti said is correct. Then to avoid the contrary experiences and to come to experience of what we are convinced, we do the Nididhyasanam. Nididhyasanam is the rejection of Anatma Anubhuti and the obtaining the Atma Anubhuti, which is preceded by the conviction that everything other than the Atma Anatma is Anitya and unreal. It is convinced, and conviction has come to us through logic. And to use the logic to get convinced, we need an information or data. The Shruti Mata gave us the data. Shruti says Brahman alone is real, Brahma Prapti alone Paraprapti, Brahman is Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Because Brahman alone is real, other than Brahman is unreal. If you try to have the Prapti of it is called as not Para, it is Apara only. Then Brahma Lakshana is Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Anything other than Satyam is Asatyam, anything other than Jnanam is Jadam, everything other than Anantam is Santam. You are lost in that. Come out of it. देखो ऐसा वाला ज्ञान सुनने के लिए जो दिमाग चाहिए कुछ अलग ही तरह का चाहिए ना. That dimag which is lost in the vishayas through mind and senses, how will it have? even the preparedness or readiness to listen to this jnanam. Forget about using yukti to understand. And thereafter, in that commitment, with that commitment in the meditational seat, I will not get up till I experience Satyam Jnanavantam Brahma. ऐसा दीक्षा से जो बैठता है उन्हीं को सारे पंचकोश विवेक के द्वारा विवेक को पंचकोश पार करके अंदर के आत्मा अनुभव करने का क्षमता होता है. Like the one who can study for 16-18 hours per day alone has the opportunity chance to become the civil servant. जो 1 घंटा भी नहीं पढ़ पाएगा, कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं पाएगा, he will not even be fit for the clerk also. But that fellow who is a clerk in this life, every year if he will increase, maybe after 100 lives, if he is capable of studying for 16 hours, he can become the civil servant. In the same way, you and I, if in this life, because our vasanas, desires, extrovertedness, are not able to comprehend Satyam Jnanantam Brahma, but from now onwards, through Karma Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga, if you go on removing all these obstructions, maybe after couple of lives or some lives, we will also able to comprehend or contemplate on this Satyam Jnanamanantam Mahavakya. That's how every life we add knowledge, we add strengths, we add values which give us strengths, and we remove all which weaken us, which we will remove all those wrong habits, etc. That's what our Yoga Darshanam also, Aklishta and Klishta, which we are going to study after some time. Suddenly nahi hota. Is it not? Only Shukadeva and Vamadeva are the ones who are born Brahmagnani. All others are Ajnani only, but the Jnanam which he gained earlier lives, they used in this life and became Anubhavi and Mukta. But before that, how many lives they were struggling? And much before life, they were also like a human being, but in the animal in the human form, having only animalistic instincts. Animalistic instinct it's not an abuse. It's only to say that buddhi is not used, that whatever is perceived, that alone is taken as real. That type of thing is called the animalistic life. It's a technical word, it's not an abuse. So they must be like they were slowly evolved. We are also now in an animalistic life of whatever is seen through Indriyas alone is real. After that, we are becoming even worse than animal by creating desires and making it so strong that we are going to the level of Rakshasas in trying to obtain those things. This is the further degradation. It's okay. That is a topic not relevant now. We can stick up to only the animal level, no not to go to the Rakshasa level. But in lives, as we go on changing ourselves, we slowly mature, not to accept whatever alone seen through senses only as real. We start questioning what is the substratum, what is the root. That root cause hunting has become the subsource for both outer physical sciences, also to the spiritual sciences. The difference between what the in every experience, the experiencer and the experienced are there. The scientist went in search of the root cause of the object. Therefore, his search is only about the substratum behind the object. The rishis have gone in search of the root cause of the subject. There's the only difference. Otherwise, both scientists were in search of the substratum only. A step little more intelligent of the rishis what he understood that the subject is independent, not the object. Object always depends on subject. Therefore, let me discover the subject first. He went into. In the discover the subject, he found everything is that only. There is nothing called as object. But a scientist going on observing the object only, he will end up only in ignorance as long as it doesn't become subjective. That's what the final point of objective scientist is what? There is nothing. How do you say there is nothing? Because I am aware of it. Therefore, awareness ke ilawa there is nothing. This is called spirituality. There is nothing other than my own awareness. That is what a objective scientist will reach to. That is what subjective science is. There is nothing other than conscious self. Not knowing it as it is only projected the world. The subjective science, through inquiry rejects projections, reaches to the self. The objective scientist, by breaking the thing, he goes even up to the nuclear level, nucleus, even that he goes. Finally, देखता है, अरे ये तो cabbage की तरह है, ये तो onion की तरह है. You know, the cabbage is an interesting example. You know, our some professor when we were in college days, he used to call us, "You're all grown up cabbages." Cabbage is such a thing. लगता है ऊपर covers है, अंदर कोई वस्तु है. When you go on opening, is nothing inside. खोपड़ी खाली. He used to use that example for us. In the same way, all these are outer layers only. There's nothing inside all this Rupanamatmaka Jagat other than the conscious self. So, all put together is our completeness in our understanding. So, Satyam Brahma Vikara ko उसने निकाल दिया. ज्ञानम ब्रह्म कर्तृत्व को as well as जड़ता को निकाल दिया. But still one problem remains, even when we understand the Jnanam Brahma as Jnapti Swarupa Brahma, free from the Triputi, free from the Vrittis. What is that? Like any objective knowledge we have, being limited in time, is it not? As long as you are attending to it through your senses and the mind, the knowledge of that object is remaining. Knowledge of chair. As long as you are aware of it. The moment you shift your attention to the lamp, knowledge of chair gone. Then shift to a book, the knowledge of the lamp is gone. So ये ज्ञान जो है लौकिक का, ये अंत वाला है. Clear? Therefore, even this jnanam, yes, it may be jnapti swarupa, but it is antavala. There is a possibility for it. Again, if that is so, so jnanam is ending then endful jnanam को लेकर हमें क्या करना है? हमको तो paraprapti चाहिए. Paraprapti means never ending. Therefore, oh my dear friend, the Brahman which we have told you as Satyam Jnanam is not only Satyam Jnanam, it has also the third word, it is Anantam also. See, Jnanam Brahma iti Kartrutvadi Karaka Nivrutyartham Murdadivat Achidrupata Nivrutyartham cha prayujyate. Please remember, Brahma is Anubhuti. It is ever eternally there. To have the Anubhava of the Brahma, everything other than Brahman has to be rejected. The rejection and acceptance happens depending on the Lakshana. Therefore, these Lakshanas of Brahman, which are absolutely opposite to the Lakshana of anything other than Brahman, are given here as Satyam and Jnanam Anantam for our contemplation to reject everything which is not Brahman and reach to that Brahman which is none other than our own self in experience. अनुभव रूपी आत्मा जो ब्रह्म है उनको हमें दिलाने के लिए सत्य ज्ञान अनंत वाला लक्षण उनके बताए गए, जिसके द्वारा जो कुछ भी असत्य है, अज्ञान अनंत शांत है, जो ब्रह्म से अलग है, उसका रिजेक्शन किया जाएगा. वेयर? ऑन द मेडिटेशनल सीट. डोंट एवर इमेजिन व्हेन इट इज सेड कि ज्ञानम ब्रह्म इज लाइक मिठाई है, कोई है जो स्वीट के शॉप में होता है, ऐसा. नो, Jnanam and Brahma are not two. Satyam and Brahma are not two. Brahman alone is Jnanam, Brahman alone is Satyam. And the Jnanam, Satyam, Anantam are rejecting the Asatya Jagatu as well as the Jada Jagatu and Santa Jagatu. Thereafter, these three words also are not required. Then, that experience which is indicated by these words when we have to talk in the language is experienced. The most difficult part in Vedanta is this, that we still try to understand and we think we have understood and we say we have understood and we say with understanding the liberation should come. समझदारी से मोक्ष नहीं होता, अनुभव से होता है. तो सत्यम ब्रह्म is that satya vastu which is Brahma is my own self. I am Sat Brahma. This should be the experience. Again, this is not a word, this is not a sentence. Like I am a man. It is not a word or sentence or explanation or convincing others. It is my experience. In the same way, Satyam Brahma is experience, it is not an explanation. How much ever 5 days we are explaining, other than this way, you cannot be communicated. Therefore, the gurus struggle it, but the purpose of all that is to experience it only. So, in me alone is that self is there. I am that self. That self alone is me, which is Brahman. That Brahman is Satyam, Jnanam, Ananta. That alone is real. Nothing other than that is real, though it is seen or perceived. It will not stand to deep logical inquiry. Like thought will not stand to the logical inquiry of the cause and effect. Thought cannot stand. The reality of the pot cannot stand. Utility of the pot can be there in the imagination of the mud as pot. Is it not? So Satyam Brahma, Vikara is rejected. Jnanam Brahma is Jnana Kartrutvam, Rudadivat Jadatvam is removed. For that Prayujyate. But the problem continues. One problem stays. What's that? Jnanam Brahma iti vasanat praptam. With the word of Jnanam Brahma, one problem came. What is that? Antavatva. How do you say so? Because Laukikasya Jnanasya Antavatva Darshanat. In the Laukika Jnana, there is Anta, as we just now told you the example. Is this Brahma Jnana also is also Antavatva? Then क्या हुआ? इतना मेहनत करके हमने ज्ञान को पाया और अंत वाला हो गया. So to reject the antatva of the jnanam, what is used? Ataha tanivrutyartam. To remove the limitationness or conditioningness or the perishability or endfulness of the Satyam Brahma Jnanam Brahma, the third verse used by the Shruti Mata to indicate that Brahman, third Lakshanam, it is Anantam iti aha. See the beautiful connection between that. Anantam word is used to remove the antavatva of the jnanam. Jnanam word is used to remove the jadata as well as what do you say, jnana kartrutva. Then satyata is used to remove the anrutatvam, asatyatvam which is there in the jagat. जगत के अनुतत्व असत्य को प्रूव करते हुए उस जगत को रिजेक्ट करने के लिए सद्ब्रह्म को बताया. सद्ब्रह्म के अंदर वाला जड़ता और ज्ञात कर्तृत्व को निकालने के लिए ज्ञानम ब्रह्म बताया. ज्ञान ब्रह्म का अंतता को निकालने के लिए अनंत बताया. ब्रह्म के ये तीन लक्षणों का ये उद्देश्य. सत्यम ब्रह्म, ज्ञानम ब्रह्म, अनंतम ब्रह्म. Wow. And there is such a substantial self is in us. Leaving that which is actually infinite ever blissful, we are so strongly living in the illusion world of the projected multiplicity of all gross subtle causes. See the fun, how a jiva is self-deluded in the world of multiplicity, searching for the moksha or ananda. It will never come. It's only in the self. Atahata nivrutyartamaha anantam iti. So up to this, what an excellent discussion has been done. But अब देखो इतना बढ़िया डिस्कशन से सत्य ज्ञान आनंद ब्रह्म एक्सप्लेन किया. अब सुनकर भी अब इतना डेढ़ दिमाग टेढ़ा दिमाग is the पूर्व पक्षी that he puts such a question जो all that now that is done उसको पानी फेर दी. ऐसा प्रश्न पूछता है. वेरी विचित्र क्वेश्चन. नाउ डिस्कशन इज नॉट ओवर. टू मोर क्वेश्चंस आर देयर. वन टू टू three questions are there. We will see that. Now, the question I will talk today and the answer of Bhagwan Shankara, which is beautiful, little tough, that we will see tomorrow. After all this listening, you know how the highly intellectual thinking, the Pura Pakshi raises a question. Itna kar bhi, majedar baat. You know, in this world, like, some person you give so much love, value, importance, still that person can't understand you. Now, what will you talk about it? You can't say anything about it other than Maya. उसका कोई जवाब ही नहीं होता. Sometimes, in the same way, पूर्व पक्षी के दिमाग में वो अनुग्रह प्योर वाला श्रद्धा भक्ति से नहीं होता. So he will listen everything and go teda only. Is it not? Like when I inquire about my parents, my friends, and you all, how you have contributed to my life, then I'll develop that respect and gratitude, and I try to reciprocate it. अब मैंने दिमाग ही यूज नहीं किया तो पता कैसे चलेगा मुझे कि आपका क्या मायना है मेरे जीवन में. So no, little bit I have to give value and inquire. Otherwise, I will know. That little goodwill should be there in me. On that will be built the subsequent gratitudes and all good qualities. Basic question in name, no. So then I don't recognize anybody's value. Here also, Purva Pakshi's drushti is not at all on Brahman, is on the world and enjoyment. He has no kindness, sympathy. Therefore, after listening everything, he has all the authority, audacity to reject what he says. How he rejects is such an example, I tell you. सुनकर ही आपको मजा आएगा. He takes 4-5 minutes and let us see if we have time or not. कोशिश करेंगे कि see पूर्व पक्षी big प्रश्न. All very interesting. He says satyadinam. You have said Satyam Jnanamanta Brahma or Shruti Mata said, and the Lakshanas of Brahma. Okay. These Satya Jnana Ananta, what did they do? Satyadinam Anruta Adi Dharma Nivrutti Paratvat. They only rejected the opposite Lakshanas. Anrutadi Dharma Nivrutti Paratvat. The purpose of Satyam is to reject the Asatyam, Anrutam. The purpose of Jnanam is to reject the Jadata. The purpose of the Ananta Shabda of the Brahma is to reject the Antavatva. So three words are used. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. Satyam has rejected Asatyam or Anutam. Jnanam has rejected Jadata, Karatrugatvam. Then Anantata rejected the Sahantatvam. ये है सत्य ज्ञान. तीन शब्दों ने किया काम. Okay. So सत्यादि नाम अनृतादि धर्म निवृत्ति परत्वात्. Then विशेषस्य च ब्रह्मणः उत्पलादिवत् अप्रसिद्धत्वात्. See, अब ब्रह्म का कोई विशेषण नहीं रहा. Because the Visheshanas of Brahman, which you talked as Satyam Jnanantam, they got exhausted in rejecting the opposite things. सत्य अनृत को हटा दिया, असत्य का काम हो गया. ज्ञानम जड़ को हटा दिया, ज्ञान का काम हो गया. अनंतम शांत को हटा दिया, उसका काम हो गया. अब ब्रह्म का कोई विशेषण नहीं है. Therefore, there is no Brahma. विशेष्य ब्रह्मण उत्पलादिवत अप्रसिद्धित्वातु. See, Utpala is a flower. It has got Neela, Mahat and Sugandhi gunas or Visheshanas. Therefore, that lotus was found. No, Brahman is not found because Visheshanas are there, not there for Brahman, because the three Visheshanas, Lakshanas which he used, they are exhausted in rejecting the opposite things. उसका काम हो गया वो. अब उसका काम हो गया तो क्या करेगा अभी सत ब्रह्म. ब्रह्म के तो विशेषण है ही नहीं, तो ब्रह्म है ही नहीं. So your Brahman or your talk about Brahman is like this. That you spoke about his Lakshanas, Lakshanas got exhausted somewhere. Therefore, those Lakshanas are not there. When the Lakshanas are not there, how can the Lakshita Vastu be there? You may talk about, but there is no Brahman, my dear. See that example given by it. What an excellent thing. He says कि मृगतृष्णां भसिस्नातः कपुष्पकृतशेखरः एष वन्ध्यासुतो याति शशशृङ्गधनुर्धरः. Such a huge poem. I will chant again for you. मृगतृष्णां भसिस्नातः कपुष्पकृतशेखरः एष वन्ध्यासुतो याति शशशृङ्गधनुर्धरः. He says, there is a Vandhyaputra. Tomorrow I'll explain it in detail. He took bath in mirage water. Then he is putting on his head or ears the Akasha Pushpa. and in his hands there is a bow made out of the horns of a rabbit, and he is going. How many words are used? How much of imagination you can do? But can you correspondingly find such scene or situation? Your Brahman is like that only. इतने बातें की लेकिन वो है ही नहीं. See, Vandhyaputra. What's at all Vandhyaputra है ही नहीं. If some woman's name is Vandhya, then she can be Vandhyaputra हो सकता है. But literally meaning of Vandhya is a barren woman. So Vandhyaputra, barren woman's son, took a bath in Miraj water, which is not there, and having Akasha Pushpa on his head, and holding a bow in the hand made out of the horns of a rabbit. Here. ऐसा तुम्हारा ब्रह्म होगा. इति इति बात शून्यार्थता एव प्राप्ता सत्यादि वाक्य से इति चेत. देखो सत्यादि वाक्यों से जिस ब्रह्म का बात किया आपने, वो ऐसा ही है कि वाक्य तो बोला बट ऐसा कुछ है ही नहीं. देयर इज नो ब्रह्म, शून्यता ओनली केम. We said there is a Jagat, and we said the Jagat is Satyam, all that. With your Satyam Jnanantam Brahma, you rejected the Jagat by Asatyam and Ajadam and Antavatvam. So, Shabd ho gaye, ye Shabd usme ho gaye. How, no, where are the Visheshnas left for Brahman? Therefore, there is no Brahman available. See that example, see the thought of him. Now the Guru will have to use such a high level power of logic to make that fellow understand. It's a very high level, not easily understandable, but we have to very deeply focus so we can catch it. What it is to see it, tomorrow will come. Om, 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 Om. Om, 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 Om. See, when we see the obvious Jagat, even though if it is giving some dukkha, in between there are sukhas are there. We don't feel like rejecting it. So too, the Brahman always is an elusive thing, because of its own subtlety as well as causeness as well as the subjectivity. Therefore, nobody easily agrees, accepts about the presence of Brahma. उनको ब्रह्म के अंदर जो सत्य ज्ञान आनंद अनुभव है, वस्तुओं के जगत के वस्तुओं में चाहिए. वस्तुओं को जगत का छोड़कर ऐसे ब्रह्म को पाने का वो थॉट नहीं रहता किसी को. दैट इज अ मोह, पावरफुल मोह. It's not at all easy, both things, to give up the world in which we got habit, to take up the Brahman, which is so abstract and so sublime and so subject. That is why Guru Ishvara Kripa, which is invoked through being regular, that higher intuitive subtle intellect comes. तभी जाकर ब्रह्म है, ये लक्षण वाला ब्रह्म है, वो जगत से भिन्न है, उनको आत्म रूप में ध्यान में पता करना है. तभी जाकर अनात्म उपाधि अनात्म रूपी जीव देह भाव से मुक्ति होगा. दैट विल क्लिक ओनली टू दैट पर्सन. दैट आल्सो नॉट सडनली, धीरे धीरे धीरे, लाइक यू एंड दे आर लिसनिंग लिसनिंग लिसनिंग. व्हाइल लिसनिंग ओनली गुरुदेवा शरणम, गुरु परंपरा शरणम, गुरु तत्व शरणम, नारायण शरणम, कृष्ण शरणम. When you go on doing this for a long time, then that special krupa will make our intellects fully matured first to accept these things. Ki param is Brahma alone, Brahma prapti alone. Para prapti, other than Brahma, everything is avaram. The avara prapti is always binding. I want nothing other than Brahma. That conviction takes time. But once it comes, then the journey is good. That's what I say. It's a highway. Reaching to the highway is more difficult from where we stay. Once we hit the highway, then the journey is without any obstruction, smooth and enjoying. It is only I have to recognize Brahman and get mukta. To get this thought is most tough. Once it got, then the sadhana is sought from the Guru, then we do that sadhana also. Om Purnamada Purnamidam पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। परम ऋषिभ्यो परम ब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमाते तत्सत् ब्रह्मार्पणमस्तु। थैंक यू। ओम।